Hello, and welcome to another book review. And today, I want to talk to you about Road to Bones by Christopher Golden. Now, this novel received a lot of praise when it was published last year in 2022, but as you can expect, I'm late to the party, but I'm here. I've read my Thunderstorm Books signed edition, and I am pleased to report that you should probably read this if you like horror novels. It was one hell of a read. This, as I said, is the Thunderstorm Books signed edition. I'll get more on the production details on that in a moment, but let's talk about the book itself first. If you're not familiar with The Road to Bones, because I wasn't prior to this, that's the unofficial name. It's actually the Kolyma Highway out in Russia. It's 1,200 miles of gravel-packed permafrost in Subzero conditions, which was literally built on the bones of the Gulag prisoners who built it. It's dark. And so the novel by Christopher Golden follows documentarian Felix Teigland, who is now traveling the Road of Bones, or he's going to be traveling the Road of Bones, in order to create his documentary, Life and Death on the Road of Bones. Along the way, along his journey, he is bringing Prentice, his British cameraman. He's also bringing the translator that they pick up. And very early on, they pick up a stranded motorist. I was going to say hitchhiker. She's not a hitchhiker. She's a stranded motorist. So anyways, Road of Bones isn't necessarily about the titular Road of Bones. It basically uses that as a backdrop for the setting for where this novel is taking place. And what it's about is Teague and company as they stumble upon a village that should be populated but is quite abandoned instead. The only person in this village is a near catatonic young child who is definitely in a state of shock. So in rescuing this young girl, they realize that the evils and horrors that are in the woods just beyond the village are now out for them as well. And suddenly, Road of Bones becomes a story of survival for Teague and company as they try to survive against the evil forces that are out for them. And I don't want to get too much more into detail beyond that, but if you like, horror novels about trying to survive, then you will absolutely love Road of Bones. One thing I will say is, damn, for 250 pages, this novel flies by. I read this thing in 2 sittings, and when I got to a nice stopping point after the first day, I looked at it and I was like, man, I am 2/3. I was on chapter 12. I'm 2/3, almost 3/4 the way through. And it's like, man, I need more. Like, it flew by. If you've read Brian James Freeman's Blue November Storms, that is actually probably one of the best comparisons I can give for this. They're still very much different tales, different stories, but they both kind of deal with that survival instinct kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So I thought, that was them, people surviving on a hunting trip. This is documentarian and company surviving on a literal frozen hellscape of just below zero temperatures. If you're out too long for more than a few minutes, you will hit frostbite, and it will kick your ass. It's one hell of a read. Seriously, you should check it out. The production value itself, this is a Thunderstorm Books. This is the signed edition. If you're not familiar with Thunderstorm Books, first off, they have very similar aesthetics to each of their titles. Nice kind of black bonded leather. The novel title and author printed on it in kind of a nice little box there. They also have some of the nicest end papers in the business. Seriously. Even though this might thematically not fit with the story, it's actually rather colorful for a bleak story. It's gorgeous. As I mentioned, it is signed by Christopher Golden. This was limited 300 copies, which is one of the largest limitations that Thunderstorm Books does. Usually we're talking like 50 copies, maybe 60 copies of a book. This one's got 300, which is fine. It actually works in your favor because there are still copies available on Thunderstorm Books, which is wild to me because most of them sell out almost immediately. So probably in part due to the fact it's 300 copies, you could still, as of the time of me recording this, go over to their website and pick up a copy for yourself. Link in the description below. One thing I will say, I mean, I did read the Thunderstorm book several months back, and I wasn't impressed with the typos and the spelling mistakes, but I don't hold that against the publisher itself. I think that was the author not quite proofreading his own work prior to submitting it. You don't get that with this title here. The only thing I would say is that, as you can see here, there are the cover art, half of the cover art printed as like a header for each of the chapters. Unfortunately, because of the printing, sometimes you get little, I don't even know if it's coming out in the video there, kind of like scan lines, print lines, which is a little unfortunate, but overall, it is an incredible publication. Like I said, Thunderstorm Books does a great job. They're a bit pricier, but you actually get your money's worth within the price. And like I said, they usually sell out incredibly quickly. Road of Bones being an exception, it is still available. However, there's also, 8 times as many, or well, I guess not really 8, more 6 times as many copies as their normal titles. But if you go over to Thunderstorm Books, you should check out, pick up a copy for yourself. Otherwise, you can find a trade edition of Road of Bones wherever books are sold, so you can always pick them up a copy there as well. But anyways, seriously, you should check out Thunderstorm Books. Check out Christopher Golden. Road of Bones, definitely worth a read if you're looking for sub-zero temperature horror out in the desolate Russian tundra or Siberian tundra as a whole bunch of individuals fight for survival against otherworldly forces, which is very cool. The forces, the forces have their roots in Russian mythology and folklore, which is very cool. I had to look that up after the fact. And Christopher Golden did his research, which is more than I can say for myself because I didn't know this stuff going in. But when I looked it up, I'm like, oh yeah, Christopher Golden, he nailed it. So anyways, like I said, check out Christopher Golden, check out Thunderstorm Books. Please consider liking and subscribing. I do at least 1 book review a week. I've been doing 2 a week lately just because I have a lot to catch up on. But in between there, I got plenty of unboxing videos to have as well. Oh, you know what? One other quick thing. If you've watched this far, thank you. One thing I'm disappointed with in this particular, just this title, is that there's no author picture, and I'll tell you why. I mean, I understand there's no author picture in any Thunderstorm books, and that's A-okay with me. You get nice quality. But for this particular title, I have a gripe with it, and that's because Christopher Golden, if you haven't seen him, looks eerily like Tim from It's Terrific. So there's your homework if you've watched this far. Go look up a picture of Christopher Golden, and then go onto the It's Terrific YouTube channel or BookTube channel. Make sure to subscribe while you're there, and just look, because they're the same person. It's eerie. So anyways, like I said, it's a very superficial gripe, just because I can't show you that in the video itself. But like I said, check out Thunderstorm Books. They do a superb job, and Golden did an excellent job with this novel alone. So thank you very much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing, and we'll see you around next time.